Hi, I want to talk to you today about my spring TBR. Lately, I've been wanting to get more into reading physical books. I've gotten more into audiobooks over the last year or so, but I really miss reading physical books. And so I'm trying to get back into that. And on my channel before, I've asked for book recommendations because I really just didn't know where to start. I feel like in middle school, high school, I would just go to the YA section and pick up what I thought was interesting. But now that I'm a little bit older and some of those books don't resonate with me as much, I kind of just didn't know what I liked as an adult reader. And thankfully, I've come across a lot of book content creators on YouTube and on TikTok. And I feel like I've gotten a lot further than just looking myself. But yeah, I really just want to read more books and I want to explain to you why. I have a desire to understand the world more. I don't know. I guess I miss learning. Yeah, I want to read books that help me understand the climate of the world a little bit more. Also, I do feel like social media has kind of ruined my brain a little bit. I don't think I'm as addicted as I could be, but that's not a super high bar. I don't want to have an attention span that only works for TikTok. I want to be able to have a longer attention span. I want to be able to maintain the ability to comprehend complex sentences and complex ideas. And I also want to continue to grow my vocabulary. I feel like that's something we kind of take for granted in school is someone deliberately teaching you words. And I want to deliberately teach myself words. I don't know, maybe I'll include this, maybe I won't. But as a kid, as a very young child, I remember being very frustrated when I had a feeling and I didn't know the word to describe it. To me, having a vocabulary was having agency to communicate, and I don't want that muscle to atrophy. So I'm reading for comprehension, I'm reading for attention span, I'm reading for world awareness, and I also, of course, want to just read for enjoyment. I miss that feeling of being sucked into a book and when you're reading a really good book and it's you forget that you're reading, it almost feels like you're just watching a movie. I love that feeling and I've always loved that feeling, and that's just something I want to experience more in my adult life. And not enough people read. And to me, it's really sad. Reading just grants you so much. It grants you access into the perspectives of other people. It grants you knowledge about things that you just wouldn't come across in your own experiences. And I'm a big fan of reading, but I want to actively read. So I'm reading for a lot of personal development and enjoyment. But yeah, let me go ahead and tell you what I'm planning on reading. This isn't an exhaustive list. These are just some of the things that I intend to read pretty soon. So let's get into those. The first book I want to talk about is The Vanishing Half by Brit Bennett. This is about two light-skinned Black twins who are so light that they can actually pass for white. And one of them lives their life as a white woman and one of them doesn't. And yeah, basically the story is about their relationship and how they kind of separate and maybe come back together. I don't know. I read maybe the first 20 pages or so on the Google preview. And I think my sister would really like this. So once I'm done with it, I'll see if she wants to borrow it. I just thought that was such an interesting concept, living your life kind of disguising as a white person versus someone who looks exactly like you living their life as a Black person. I've heard good things about this book, so I'm really excited to dive into this one. The next book I want to talk about is The Factory by Hiroko Oyamada. The Factory is about three workers in a factory, but they have no idea what the factory produces. Slowly, they kind of start to lose their grip on reality and become less aware of where the workplace ends and reality begins. I'll read a little bit of the back cover summary. Their lives slowly become governed by their work. Days take on a strange logic and momentum, and little by little, the margins of reality seem to be dissolving. Where does the factory end and the rest of the world begin? What's going on with the strange animals here? And after a while, it could be weeks or years, the three workers struggle to answer the most basic question: what am I doing here? So I'm excited to get into the surrealism of this book. I'm also excited to analyze the commentary it could be making about modern workplaces and where work fits into the meaning of a person's life. Or does it become the meaning of a person's life? I feel bad that even though I have an English degree, I've never finished 1984 by George Orwell. If I'm honest, and this kind of dawned on me the other day, I think that the reason why I've never finished it is because this specific edition, the pages are kind of small and the font is kind of small, and I don't have like top tier eyesight. I can read it just fine, but like I think the fact that it's a little bit smaller than I would want kind of keeps me from wanting to read it as much as I actually do want to read it. Of course, George Orwell's 1984 is about a negative utopia. Where I am in the novel, we're still in the world building part. And so there are these different ministries that kind of govern life in the city that Winston, the main character, lives in. And everything is heavily, heavily monitored. There's literally a monitor in his apartment that watches him all the time. And he performs for it. Like he has to kind of like give like a contented, not too excitable expression whenever he's inside his own home. He can't say anything that could trigger a response from the government. And on top of that, they have like these regular showings of like a rebel who basically tried to overthrow the government. And they show him, and the citizens are expected to boo at him and throw things at him, and it's a video, like he's not actually there, and they're expected to have like this huge emotional response that's just so fabricated. But even the narrator kind of gets swept up into it, but he knows that it's extremely performative. I'm interested to see the kind of commentary that Orwell makes about this kind of government as well. On a much lighter note, I'm also going to read Days at the Murasaki Bookshop. This book is about a woman named Takako, and she's going through a really, really horrible breakup. And basically her uncle invites her to live and work at his bookshop to kind of help clear her mind of all the things that she's going through. And so from what I've heard, this is a really lighthearted, easygoing book about taking care of yourself and, just kind of allowing things to pass. There are a few other books that I want to read, but I don't have physical copies of, one of which is Animal Farm. I don't know where I was when I was supposed to be reading Animal Farm, but that's definitely on the list to read. I'm also planning on reading The Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler and The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. There are a lot of other books I'm planning to read. I just wanted to discuss a few. Please let me know in the comments what's on your TBR, and if you like this kind of video, then I'll make more of them. I think I'll make more of them anyway because I like it, and if I like it, then somebody else will probably like it too. If you enjoyed this video, I hope that you will also consider subscribing to my monthly newsletter. You can subscribe to it at housegustav.com. I give recommendations like this. I also discuss interior design and other things that are going on with me. Sometimes I even include recipes or other creators that I'm really enjoying. So please subscribe to my newsletter at housegustav.com. I work really hard on it, and I think that you will like it. So I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.